lemurs. Oh, we need to send you across to James quickly. Oh. Sorry, there's a car there, but in front of the car is a pair of wild dogs. They've just gone in here. There they go. They're just trotting through there. That's miles from nowhere near the other dogs where we were this morning. Can you see them there, Dave? Sorry, I'm just going to try and change this radio. It's just making a beastly noise. They just popped out on the road in front of us. I'm just trying to see if there are any others coming behind them. There don't seem to be. Now, we can't go in here after them. And this is a completely different pack, I think, from the others. They are miles and miles away from the other pack that we saw this morning. We can't go in there. Let's go around. They might pop out onto Djuma. We're at quite close to a corner, and they are heading diagonally across this block. Dave, will you just keep an eye out behind us, just to see if more don't pop out? I'm just going to give a quick update. Stations, 2 wild dogs heading across east across Triple M at the Arathusa sign. I obviously can't follow them. They just seem to be on their own, 2 of them. I'm not copying, guys. I'm sorry you'll be able to hear me, but they went straight across Triple M in an easterly direction from the Arathusa sign. Wow, that's amazing. So what we'll do is go across here, let's get off this bumpy road. 2 wild dog sightings, 2 packs in a day. And let's just see if they aren't sort of heading in this direction, and maybe they'll pop out onto the road in front of us. It's amazing. They must be looking for the rest of their pack, I'm sure. Gee whiz, this is just fantastic stuff. Blind luck, of course, and the blind luck I haven't had for the last 4 days. Right, let's go down here. Hold on, David. Now, I imagine that they would pop out probably about 300 meters or so up ahead here. It's about 1,000 feet. If they're going to pop out at all. They were walking quite slowly, as you saw, but I think it's going to be worth just standing by here quickly. There's another channel that I can check on the radio. There's some impala. They don't look to be looking very terrified. And of course, if impala sees a wild dog, it will just run. It will not bother to shout. Will not bother to complain, it will just run. Drive very back that he saw. So interesting stuff. And let's hope that they come back onto Djuma. Sorry, James, I didn't get to finish answering your question regarding what genre's favorite things to film were over in Madagascar, and apparently the a nocturnal primate, was one of the highlights. It's the world's largest nocturnal primate that's got this bizarre finger with incredible abilities that allowed to detect little grubs and branches, apparently. And it's also apparently the reason why that species is highly endangered, is because people believe if it points that funny finger at you, you will die. So they get killed. It's an unfortunate superstition that the local Madagascan people have. He also filmed a chameleon laying eggs, which took 7 hours, shortly after which she was consumed by a snake. Crazy. That was another thing. A tiny chameleon, smaller than your nails on your fingers, called a Brucisia. Tiny, tiny little chameleon that he got to see. Lots of different snakes, the leaf-tailed gecko. Madagascar certainly is a country with some incredible endemic species that only occur there. Sadly though, it seems like their conservation strategies are not so sound, and compared to Jean-André's last trip there, there is less and less habitats available for a lot of the wild animals of Madagascar, and it doesn't seem like that problem is getting any better. So that's the sad reality of it. The moral of the story is, I guess, you've got to go and experience these places while they still exist, or try your best to be able to curb the damage that us humans are causing to the planets, which there's many ways, I guess. Just recycling in your own home is something that would be an easy start that everyone could do. Oh, we have a Cape Buffalo in front of us in the road. Maybe if we're lucky it's the three-legged individual I was hoping to see getting chased by the Nkuhumas.
I'm now on Gallagher's short-cut
It is a beautiful evening, very nice to have the sun out. It's been cloudy for the last few days, so really enjoying this sunshine together with the lick of green that we've got after the rain.
No, the road that goes east from Hollywood, they're on that road. There's so much I'll just across that way.
Hello, Buffalo.
Okay, copy that.
Just heard something's been found. It could be a wild dog or the lion. I'm just going to double check. Craig, sorry, what was that there?
A couple of long-necked camels at Hardcore.
Okay, copy that, thank you. But
I'm not very excited about those.
it's merely that I cannot see them from the boundary that causes my lack of excitement. So there's some giraffe, which Craig has called long-necked camels, that have been found, but not where we can go, hence my lack of excitement. Hello, Cape Buffalo Bulls. Have you seen the lions anywhere? It's not looking like you guys are awfully worked up, but to be honest, had they have seen those lions 20 minutes ago, I don't think their behavior would be very different to what it is now. They command a lot of respect, these big old boys. Let me just roll forward a bit for you there, Jean-André. And have had many an encounter with lions before. They're probably going to be more happy about the fact that there's some green grass to chew on than anything else at the moment. Very, very good. Let's leave these big old boys to carry on grazing. I want to try and get to the Buffelshoek waterhole so that we can start the search for the black-crowned night herons. But wait a moment first. What is that bird sitting in the dead tree down there, Jean-André? It is a vulture. Huh. It's holding its wing out very strangely. I don't know why it's doing that. Let's go and take a closer look there. I don't think there's necessarily any food below it, but hopefully I'm wrong. If there was, we would probably see more than just one vulture here, but you never know. Maybe just one vulture was lucky enough to see the Nkuhuma pride with their buffalo kill down in this little riverbed. But on top of that, I'm interested to try and work out what's going on with its wing. Maybe it's just resting it in a strange position, but usually they would do that after they've had a bath, usually at the water's edge, or or they'd be doing it facing towards the sun, almost to warm up. Sometimes they'll do that when it's cold. So I'm hoping this individual, I mean, I doubt it's injured. Otherwise, how would it have got up there? What is happening with your wing? Now, it appears like the left wing to me is being held as it should, normally. You can see how the top tip of that wing is close to the bird's beak. Look at the other wing and how far away it is from the bird's beak. So, I don't know. Can't for the life of me even have a guess as to what it's doing. Let's see if we can get around onto the other side of it. Appears to have pulled it back into a regular kind of position now. So maybe it just had a long flight, had some turbulence, got its wing knocked around a little bit. Beautiful. Look at those clouds. Wonderful. Just want to keep creeping forward a little bit so that its beak is not connected to that branch. There we go. Well, very happy that he or she has not decided to fly off, because we are very close to it. So a very welcoming vulture as far as vultures go. Any sign of the lions when you're flying around today, mister? You don't speak English? Okay. All right, well, we'll carry on then if you can't help us. Thank you, though, and glad to see that your wing is not broken. Very good. James has found a tortoise. Enjoy. Link starting. 3.
This, everybody, is the very largest leopard tortoise that I have ever seen here. And he's so old that he's losing the outer covering on his shell. And I can only think that that's perhaps because the shell has stopped growing. I'm lying next to him so that you can see how large he is in comparison to me. He's not very shy. Normally, of course, when faced with the terror that is my face, they normally disappear inside. He's hissing at me. He's going... Isn't he wonderful? And this is a very big leopard tortoise. You know, they say they live to over 100 years old, so I wonder how many seasons, how many droughts that this tortoise has seen. How many droughts have you seen, tortoise? Many, he says, too many to count. What I would very much like to try and do is put my microphone next to his mouth and see if you can't hear him.
Audio issue, James. We're not hearing you for some reason.
It's because that thing is not out.
Andrew, do you still have a visual of my fuzzy Envoy?
Sorry about the radio there.
Yeah, affirmative. For the visual. Okay, copy. I'm just heading to these little meeting and I'm going to come that side.
Right, you should be able to hear me now, everybody. I hope that's a bit better. Should be receiving me now. Are you receiving me now? Luckily, the tortoise is not a fast-moving tortoise. 1, 2,
All right.
1, 2, testing. David, is that better? There we go. Okay, now, what I'm going to do is just take the microphone off here, put it next to his mouth, and I want you to listen to it. He goes, oh, be not afraid, tortoise. Did you hear that?
Scott coming for one.
You would have heard him going,
Oh,
isn't that cool?
Go ahead.
But otherwise, he's very confident. And I mean, the only thing that is going to harm a tortoise like this, I suppose, would be a ground hornbill. They would be the only things that have the bill or equipment to get into this shell.
On quarantine clearings and they headed east.
Absolutely fantastic.
From there, and that's
There he
where
goes.
The last tracks were seen
Look at his
this morning.
wonderful head.
So we don't have a clue.
Yeah,
where
he's
they
leaving.
could
He's had enough of this.
be. Okay, copy that. You think might?
I just wonder if he hasn't even... He couldn't have stopped growing. He's probably also, you know what, I think that his shell is probably that colour. Sorry about the radio, everyone. I think his shell is probably that colour because he's been through a fire or two. And what the fires do is they do tend to knock off that outer layer of the shell where the colouring is, where that brilliant disguise on the shell is.
Okay, thanks.
He's not a slow tortoise, that. He's quite a fast tortoise. He would definitely have beaten the hare. Wasn't that cool?
Copy, thanks, John. Sounds good. They were
It's
very
the day of the
good last night.
reptile.
Hopefully they'll be the same again tonight. And I'll make
Let me turn the radio off. Sorry about that. There he goes. Okay, let's go down to Treehouse Dam, have a look what's going on there. I must remember to take this out, of course, when I get out of the car. Sorry about that, Louise. Am I plugged in? I am plugged in. Our Treehouse Dam does have a little bit of water in it, and those dogs were sort of heading in this general direction. I don't think they're going to pop out here, though. I think they were heading more east. But maybe the rest of the pack came up towards the dam towards the middle of the day. Who knows? I haven't heard them called in on any of the other channels. Okay, let's go across to Scott, get an update from him. I'll keep you posted.
We've just hit the jackpot. Look at this. It's not one, but two African Scops owls. Can you believe it? Look at how well camouflaged they are. I bet some of you are still battling to even see them. Sorry, let me just chat with you, hun, quickly. Last week, Saturday night, can you believe this? This is a bird that I've very, very seldom managed to show you guys. And it could well be a first. We called you across here in the hope that we're going to find these black-crowned night herons nearby. No, not the recent Saturday, the one before. I was just updating you, hun, as to when last we've seen Karula, which, as you heard, was quite some time back. So, you get two different types of Scops owl. You get the African Scops owl and the southern white-faced Scops owl. This, to me, looks like the African Scops owl, although I can't really see the face clearly, so maybe I'm wrong. No, it is the African Scops owl. Let me try and reposition the vehicle. A little bit to get you a more front-on view there. Stay zoomed in if you don't mind, John Red, so I know when to stop. Look at that. Fast asleep, not even concerned about us. They look like little tree stumps. And I wonder if one is a juvenile and one is an adult. We see these birds so seldomly that I'm going to have to double check a few things here. Those little ear tufts are a wonderful little addition to their interesting anatomy. No, these are the white-faced scops owls, not the African scops owl. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just show you the picture in the book quickly. They're not going anywhere. This is so cool. Now obviously we can't see its eyes because their eyes are closed, but here you can see they've got big orange eyes. We have been able to see that kind of black flecking on their chest and also that black ring around the outside of their eye. And here's a few more pictures. There's the ear tufts you can clearly see. There's a nest. I see a nest in that tree. That would have been a real bonus. And there's the eggs in the nest. How cute they are. Tiny little owls. That's one thing that I haven't told you. Their total length is about, according to here, 27 centimeters. So very, I mean, even that seems a bit big for me. They don't seem that big to me. They seem a bit small. They seem about 20 centimeters to me. So very, very small little owls. Take another look. And then what we're going to do is we're going to get the African scops owl out afterwards to show you a picture of that. Diane, you've just mentioned that you love the sound of the African scops owl, and interestingly, the call of this bird is not the one that you're thinking of. You're thinking of the African scops owl, which goes kurr, 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 every kind of 5 seconds on average. This, the white-faced scops owl, has got a very different call, more of kind of bubbling notes, is what my app suggests is a good way to describe it. I don't want to play that call now. I will be able to play it once we drive off for you. But considerably different to that of the African scops owl that we hear more commonly. Maybe that is the Navy sonar sound that you're talking about, maybe not. What a bonus. How cool was that? Okay. Matty, you say it looks like the Tootsie Pop. I think we don't get Tootsie Pops here, but it's some kind of something you get in America that has an owl. Need to get you back to James with a raptor hunting.
That's a tawny eagle, and we were alerted to its presence, everybody, by a white-crowned shrike that it's calling. You can hear it going, kick. You see it there, Dave? In the middle of the picture. There you got him. Now, we know he's a tawny eagle by the fact that he's so scruffy. You can see he's quite a scruffy eagle, and from the fact that his wings are a slightly different color. They've got blotching on them. Slightly different color from the rest of his body. And I was alerted, like I say, to his presence by that white-crowned shrike, hoping perhaps there was a leopard walking around, but not. It is that rapturous bird. Wonderful that you had the scops owl sighting. I've yet to see one here. I've heard them, of course, all the time, but I've yet to actually see one here. Ah, white-faced scops owl, sorry. Is their call. Lovely. Call of the summer evenings. Very owl-like. just keep looking. This is very cross. White crown shrike. We're just going to look around here, see if we can't see any tracks of the leopard. My plan now is to head slowly, probably towards the hyena den. In the meantime, let's go back to Scotty's at Buffelshoek Dam.
So, sadly my phone's playing up, so I can't play the call of the white-faced scopsal. But maybe James will be able to do that for you on his phone, which is in working order, I believe. Now, we search for the black-crowned night herons. They were sitting in some tambuti trees this morning before they flew off. They could do the same thing again if they are back in these trees, or they could be elsewhere. You wouldn't believe it. Take a look over to our right, everyone. Hello. Surprise! How did you guys get here without any of us seeing your tracks? You're crossing over some very difficult roads. And looks like you may have snacked on something. You're breathing quite heavily. Is it a full belly or is it simply the heat? Stations, the Nkuhumas are at Buffelshoek. Rayons. Big rayons. And it looks like just 4 of them for now. No, I'm joking, it's just the Nkuhumas, there's 4 of them that I can see. Okay, let's get into a better spot. There you can see 3, the 4th one's just behind the bush over there. But let's get into a better spot. So we drove in and I was so focused on everything that side, hoping to see these birds, that we drove straight past the lion. Now we were here this morning, but they definitely weren't here. I know that for a fact. Maybe they were further off in some thick bush. Thankfully though, they've poked their heads out. And now we get to enjoy the last portion of the drive with them. Hello ladies. Oh yeah, they're all panting quite heavily, and I suppose that they are fed on something. Go ahead, Johan.
Sorry, I didn't copy that.
The Nkuhuma lioness, 4 of them are at Buffelshoek Dam.
Okay, thanks, copy that. Can I make my way there?
Yes, make your way.
Yes, Scott.
Now, great news for them.
I'm very interested if you can take 3 more birds.
Yep, keep coming, Andrew. Just letting the guys know that they can keep making their way here. Oh, yeah, you guys have definitely had something to eat since last night. I wonder what it was. Now, it's great news for them, as I was saying, but obviously not the best news for us because we didn't see any of the action, and now it looks like they are going to sleep for the entirety of the rest of the safari. But we may get lucky and see them going down for a drink. I'm guessing, though, that they would have come here for a drink earlier, had a drink and then come back and lay up in the shade. So I think they've already done that at some stage today. Well, they don't seem too happy with the amount of food they've eaten. It's a mistake lions often make, but they need to, because they compete quite ferociously amongst one another when there is food on the table. It's phenomenal to see how kind and caring they can be when there's no food, but how drastically that all changes when it is time for dinner. And that is why they will often eat themselves into a state of discomfort. Okay, well, while they sleep here, I want to just go and see if we can't find these black-crowned night herons. We're just around the corner. We will be back, fear not, but I just feel in their current state we can possibly try and make the most of this beautiful last little golden light that is coming through. Look at that. Beautiful. Now we may lose signal here, but we need to go here in order to try and find the herons, which were just sitting up in these trees this morning. There was 2 of them, a happy couple. Sadly, no immediate sign of the night herons. Let's just sneak through the other side here. If we don't have any luck, we will send you across to James, who has got some kind of a trick up his sleeve for you. Something. This is going to be difficult, John. If you follow the main right-hand beam to where my finger is there, it is sitting there. Look at those colors. On the right a little bit where I'm shining the spotlight, you can see that little, oh, you had full zoom. No. The night heron is sitting there on that branch. You can just see its eye looking at us. It's not easy to see at all. Let's try and get you a better view of it. I'm going to have to just turn off the spotlight. It's in the center of where that spotlight is. You can just see a little black dot there, maybe. We've stopped in a very awkward angle here, which is making Genre's life tricky. And the light is terrible. It's right behind us. But let's see if we can't sneak you guys into a slightly better spot. No. Off it goes. We are going to get you, night heron. You can fly, but you cannot hide. You may have got a glimpse of it there. Let's try and see if it's not on the other side here. May have landed back in the tree where I initially saw it this morning. Secretive little creatures, these night herons. I guess that's because they're used to being out at night. Kind of makes sense. You can't blame them really. It seemed like it swooped down and landed somewhere here. Oh, you! Look at it. Look at how cool that is. Oh. Well done, Genre. Let's race up and see if we can't get you another view. Oh, cool. I'm going to show you guys in the book in a little bit. Maybe it's going to have landed at the water's edge. It's that stage of the evening. Maybe it's happy to go hunting now. Yes, it's in the middle of the waterhole. Look at how awesome this bird is. The black-crowned night heron. Bright red eye, yellow legs, and it's got this long kind of streamer that grows down from that kind of ponytail, you could almost say. And the good news is it did have a mate here. So there are two of them in the area, and they would have arrived just after we got these rains here. I don't think they've been hanging around a barren, dry waterhole. What I'm going to do is, because genre is at full zoom, we're not going to be able to get you much closer to it than what you viewed it there. Just going to show you a picture of it in the book. Beautiful. Well, it really is turning into a magical evening here. Here it is, and I'm sure it's got a lot shorter legs than a lot of you are expecting. The other herons, and the majority of the herons that we do see, have got long legs, long necks. But this one, very short legs, very stumpy body, the bright red eye, and then here these two funny, like, kind of, I don't know if you can call it a ponytail, but these two kind of streamers that grow out the back of its head. You may have vaguely been able to see that from the view that we had earlier. Let's see if we can't creep up and just get you one slightly closer view of it. I hope Michael in Florida is watching this. He is our lead ornithologist regarding his bird list, and I feel that you would not have got this one just yet, Michael. Ooh. Not the most stealthy of creeping. This should be considerably better than our last view. And to celebrate, we are going to now get back out from where we came, leave this little night here into its own devices, and show you a magnificent sunset that is unfolding. Magical. Oh, interesting. There's even a vulture perched up in that tree over there. Maybe it's aware of the scraps just in the corner of this tree here somewhere. There it is, yeah. So, oh, magical. Look at those colors of vulture silhouetted. Possibly this vulture did get to understand exactly what the Nkuhuma lions killed and get into position with the lions for when you return to us.
We've just arrived at the hyena den, everyone. I'm not sure what's going on. 2 adults here, no babies out at the moment. One of them going towards the den, perhaps to call out the youngsters. I haven't seen, I don't think, the obviously injured one from this morning. Unusual that they're not all out at the moment. I wonder if maybe some of them have moved. I don't know. Sitting at the entrance, here comes one here. This, I think, is that not the one that was injured. Let me just get into position here. That's Madam who's just arrived. Yeah. Here we go. No, that's not the one who's injured either. They've obviously all been lying in the water during the course of the day. But the one who was injured, I mean, she had chunks taken out of her backside. None of this lot have had any trouble like that. Here come the little ones. So that's Madam there, that's the matriarch there. The big one in picture. I think this is a male, is it not? I think this might be a male. Yeah, it is one of the males. It is one of the males. Didn't get himself into the fray today. Left that to the ladies. Wise fellow. Wise fellow. There's a huge activity going on here. Madam the matriarch pulling her youngsters out. Maybe the other female is. And as Louise says, Madam has been enjoying a spa day, lying in the mud, probably, maybe a little bit injured after today's fight. But definitely that scar-backed female who was bitten to pieces by those wild dogs today is not here. I must just say, while we watch what unfolds here, that Scott, first of all, even knew that there were black-crowned night herons, white-crowned night herons there, black-crowned night herons, sorry, at Buffelshoek Dam, and then found them, is absolutely astonishing. There's the male greeting them. Now, our beard, you're wondering about the injured hyena and if it would rest inside the den and be looked after. It won't be looked after, but it won't rest inside the den. It will do neither, but it would often come and rest around where the others are. So I would imagine that wherever this lot have been swimming in the mud, the injured one is probably in the same place and may well come back to this area now to have a bit of a rest. Oh, you know what, we're going to be able to sex these things now. Let's check quickly. All right, the one behind, I think, is a male. The one underneath the mother now, I think that's a male. My binoculars weren't so utterly pathetic. Not worried about stepping over that Ziziphus. Yeah, that's a male. It's definitely a male, so we've got at least one male there. While I try and sex the other one, the lions are up. Let's go back to Scott.
Hello everyone, welcome back. I've got no comms with final control. Why, I'm not too sure. Anyway, that's not a train smash. These lioness all picked up their heads in unison and started looking out to the east. There was other lion audio coming from there. It was even audible to us. I'm guessing maybe a mile away. Hard to be certain. It's something that I find very difficult to pinpoint as lion audio and where exactly it's coming from. But there are lions calling somewhere nearby. So that's some good news, I guess. I was hoping that they were going to themselves start calling back to those lions. Possibly they're the Birmingham boys that were calling. Who knows? But it would have been wonderful if they did start singing out for us. could happen a little bit later. Let's wait and see. I'm going to try and I'll fix my comms issues, which is going to be tricky. So Lou, if you do want to go back to James, that would actually be kind of useful while I try and get the comms sorted. So everyone, don't be surprised if you find yourselves in a different change of scenery now.
Now, I think, if I'm not mistaken, those are both two little males, and I'd love to know from all of you who have been watching these hyenas for a long time whether you agree with me or not. They have the pinched edge to their penis, and I think that is definitely an indicator that the two of them belonging to the matriarch are male and would be indicative of why they've survived, both of them. And then there's another young male that's just arrived. Amazing stuff, astonishing, flipping social structure that they have. It really is just amazing. Let's see who else arrives during the course of this evening. We obviously won't be here after dark. Quite a stink coming over the air now. The matriarch was scent marking with an anal gland, which has a very powerful smell. And now settling down to have a bit of a suckle. I'd be interested to know which water they've come from. It's not the Galago Pan, which is quite close by to here. They've come from the opposite direction. I'd also be very interested to know where Corky is, because her youngsters are obviously still inside the hole in this den, unless she's moved them. Just possible. Now, Iggy, as I said, that I thought maybe, well, I don't know this, I'm just guessing, because Corky's not here and her youngsters haven't popped out, and they have often been out here on their own even. And Iggy, you say, if one moved den sites, would they visit each other? Would they hunt together? They'd certainly forage together, absolutely. That would happen. Whether they'd visit each other and go and have tea and scones, I'm not sure. I don't think so. I don't think they'd make the effort to go across and say hi. But they do live in the same territory. They would absolutely recognize each other. Dave, I'm going to try and sneak a little bit forward. Get us a slightly better view. All right, back to the lions with Scott. They're getting up.
Well, the other lions that we heard roaring earlier have just roared again. And one of these ladies let off one grunt, ooh, but didn't continue singing. She could well at any stage, but it certainly has got these ladies up. I wonder who it is. Maybe, just maybe, we're going to get to see them meet up with the Birmingham boys. That would be an incredible way to show a lot of you the Birmingham boys for the first time. The newer viewers who have been here since kind of Christmas wouldn't have seen them, as I think the last sighting we had was on Christmas Eve, the morning of Christmas Eve last year. So it's been quite a while since we've seen the big dominant males of this area. And it looks like these ladies may be preparing themselves for that meeting right now. And this is the cute, caring, cuddly side of lions that fascinates me, because they can be so gentle and tender when they desire. But like I said, even with one another, come dinner time, they will put away this caring and cute friendliness that we're seeing right now and lash out at one another to try and get the best possible portions of food. Trying to look back to see where the other lioness is going. She may have headed down to the water's edge. I can't see her though. I'm thinking of possibly joining Johan and trying to work out what she has done. Half of me is also wanting to go and try and look for those other lions that are calling. It could be close enough to us that we could actually find them. But Andrew, another guide, has headed off in that area, so we could get lucky. This is Amber Eyes. This is the one lioness that I can tell apart with relative ease from the others. She's got those burning amber eyes. Others are a little bit more tricky for me. It looks like they are all going down for a drink. So let's go and join them. Oh, maybe just whip the camera across there. Look at that, everyone. Absolutely magical colors in those clouds as the sun begins to set. Wonderful. Oh, we've interfered in a lioness's toilet stop here on our right. Oh, and it stinks. We are downwind of her, and ugh, that is horrible. Not the best consistency poop I've ever seen a lion deposit. That is not regular. Maybe they were chewing on a rancid item of prey. And she has now blocked our route. Ugh. Not very pretty. Let's scoot along past and get into a spot. We'll just let her escort us down to the waterhole. It looks like the other ladies are going to be following behind us. What I'm going to maybe try to do is actually get onto the opposite side of them in the hope that we can have the sunset behind them for some stunning shots. So hold on as I try and rally us into a decent spot. Ooh, I think we might be in the money here. Look at that. There's some other guests enjoying this beautiful scene. The lions taking a sip at the waterhole with that bright, bright pink sky. Now that we have captured that moment, I'm probably going to just slip alongside these lions to give Jean-Andre some better angles to work with. Beautiful. Well, we're in luck. I wasn't expecting us to see these ladies in action this evening, considering how heavily they were panting earlier, but it appears like the other lion roaring nearby have caused them to rally themselves and get active a little bit sooner than we expected. The blacksmith lapwing is calling in the background. Chip, 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 chip. I'm just going to keep quiet for a few moments as we enjoy watching these ladies take a drink. There is a chance you may even be able to hear them. Awesome is this audio of them drinking. To be close enough to lions to actually hear them drinking is a great privilege that we're all very lucky to be experiencing. Well, the blacksmith lapwing really got excited. That was it calling there. It's crescendo. Hi, Dr. Debbie. You've said you are terrible at judging the animal sizes over the screen, and Debbie, I think it's very difficult for everyone, not just you, to be able to judge the animal size when not being here in person. So don't be too hard on yourself. You would like to know if these ladies will outweigh me, and yes, I weigh about 80 to 85 kilograms, depending on how many ice creams I've been eating in recent times. And I guess that's about 180 to 200 pounds, roughly. And they will weigh more than that. Oh, a pearl-spotted owlet's calling. That was the pearl-spotted owlet. So yes, Dr. Debbie, these ladies are going to be considerably heavier than me. They should, on average, weigh anywhere between 100 and 120 kilograms. So considerably larger than me. Looking at them, though, it's hard to compare our anatomy in terms of weight to theirs because our body is in such strange portions. Okay, well, it looks like the ladies are relaxing, and James has found you a wonderful view that he would like to share, so off you go.
Everybody, I just wanted to quickly show you an incredible scene of a sort of volcanic look, or volcanic color, sinking behind the Drakensberg there. You have the lions drinking in that incredible light. And I'm going to send you straight back to them now, but just look at the color there. Isn't that unbelievable? That is the magnificent Dragon's Back or Drakensberg Mountains, with the Hoedspruit dubious settlement nestling in the shadows. Let's go back to Scott and the lions.
And while you were gone, you'll notice we would have repositioned the vehicle ever so slightly. I had one or two tires actually in the Buffelshoek waterhole to try and get the right angle, which I feared we may have got stuck in, but thankfully our trusty jigger got us out. I really do hope and feel confident that these ladies are going to call for us tonight. With those other lions calling nearby, I'm feeling very hopeful. Maybe it's the missing member of their pride. You'll get to see them reunite. Hello to Doretta, who I think may be joining for the first time. It's a great pleasure to have you with us, Doretta. You would like to know the ages of these lions, and it's difficult for me to say. I would say, though, that the oldest lioness, who's got a very pale face in comparison to others that we'd obviously battle to see now because they're all facing away from us, but I'll put her at around 8 years of age, and the youngest at probably around 3 to 4 years of age. So mixed ages. There is also a fifth member of this pride, but she is missing at the moment. Looks like this one might have a fur ball that she might be trying to get rid of. She doesn't seem too comfortable. Let's see if she can't get comfortable. Hello, Dylan in Cedar Falls, Iowa. I think you may be watching in between your university lectures. What a great way to spend your free time between studying. You'd like to know why they all lined up to drink together, and it's the same reason why we see them all flopping around together now. They are highly, highly social cats, the only social cats really in the world. Most other cats, doesn't matter where you go on the planet, will not form big social groups like lions do. Occasionally, though, it must be said that coalitions of male cheetah are formed. That's the only example I can think of out of the African cats. Other than that, usually they're solitary, but lions are different, and this behavior that you can see here is confirming that, and that's also why they just like to do things together. It's, I guess, like you going to a pub with a group of your friends and renting a table together as opposed to going to opposite ends of the bar. Those two stopped and pricked up their ears, but the other two have not. So it would have been interesting to know what caught their attention, but had no impact on the other two. It was in the opposite direction to where we heard those other lions vocalizing now. The other lions are vocalizing. I don't think it's on Djuma. I'm fairly confident it's further north and possibly even east of where we are. Hello, Mr. Moustache, who is watching in Iceland. I hope to come and visit you there one day, Mr. Moustache. That sounds like a very interesting part of the planet. You would like to know if lions are scared of water, or dislike water, rather, is probably a better word. I don't think you used the word scared. Yes, lions of the Sabi Sands are not interested in getting their paws wet. Only if they have to cross a river for a very good reason will they get their paws wet, but they will never lounge in water like tigers would, which is strange. I mean, you can't help but wonder why they don't, because it would certainly keep them cool, and especially considering that the lions of Botswana and other areas of Africa will become very comfortable with moving through the water. Genre, let's see if we can capture this. There's a Nat.Geo that's come over the water here, and it's drinking. It's just moved off. That might come back. It's quite a slow moving. Here it comes back, Genre, from left to right. It's quite a slow moving bird, so we should be able to capture it, relatively speaking. Oh, well done, Genre. Look at this. Oh, imagine being able to just swoop down and take a sip like that so casually. Genre made that look a lot easier than it was. I'm going to ask you while you're across there, Genre, to just also show one more thing. And that is the night here, and it's at about 10 o'clock. I'll use my spotlight just above it. Just below where my spotlight is. That should give you enough light. And it's busy hunting. This is the black crown night here that we saw earlier. And now we get to see it in full hunting mode. Look at that. Poised and ready to send that sharp beak plummeting into the water after, I'm guessing, frogs in this case, or tadpoles. Oh, there's the blacksmith lapwing in the background. That's the critter that made the noise early on when the lions were moving. Oh, it found something to snack on there as well. So the birds are upstaging the lions at this stage. Their heads up again, so let's take a look at what they're up to. So yes, Mr. Moustache, basically some lions in certain parts of Africa will become accustomed to water and more comfortable with it, like the lions of the Okavango Delta in Botswana. But the lions here of the Sabi Sands are not interested in getting wet. Look at her ear twitching to try and keep the flies at bay. They will continue to pester these lions. I wonder where you guys are going to head to from here. That's going to be interesting to see. I'm hoping they don't go too far and they're somewhere on Djuma so we can try and track them down tomorrow morning. But what I hope more than that is that the Birmingham boys come and visit them. And also just check in on Djuma. This is a portion of their territory that they do need to come and make sure there are no intruders or imposters. But who knows, maybe before the end of the safari they will get active. For now though, you guys are about to get active and head across onto James's vehicle.
Hello everybody, we're just driving along the road at the moment. We have seen a marvellous sunset. We went to Bilshoek Dam to see if we could find, oh gosh, a bump or two, see if we could find anything there. Not Bilshoek Dam, obviously there's lots of Bilshoek Dam. We just went to Sydney's Dam to see if there was anything there. I was hoping those dogs had maybe popped out, but they didn't pop out there at all. There were some waterbuck who was standing there looking a little bit sort of bemused by the state of affairs. I'm not sure why. Perhaps they too listened to the State of the Nation address last week. Oh, be quiet. Very noisy radio this afternoon. Anyway, it's become slightly too late to look for the dogs, and that's simply because it's got dark and we don't want to disturb them at night. They're not nocturnal predators, and just amazing that those lions popped up at the dam there. I can't believe that. We didn't see one track of them today, not one. And that, I mean, I suppose that doesn't say much for our tracking, but Taxon was out. He had a tracker on his vehicle, so did Aubrey, and they also didn't see any tracks. So I think what they did was sneak across from Gallagher Camp. I think they snuck across the road towards where we've actually watched them the last few mornings, the last time we've seen them, and then they just sort of, I don't know, almost flew towards Bilshoek Dam. There are roads in between, very few. One of them is Hyena Road, which is almost impossible to see any tracks on, so maybe that's what happened. Must have been what happened. I'm most pleased that they popped up. I'm now, of course, going to go to Bilshoek Dam and look for those black crown night herons every time I go anywhere near the place. But Scott's skill at finding small things like that is really unparalleled, so I'm not sure I'll ever manage it. The sun, as you can see, has left some magnificent embers glowing on the tips of the Drakensberg there. And this is the first sunset we've had in about, probably 5 days or so. We've had all that cloud, and tomorrow we'll be back to the heat. It was a very, very pleasant temperature today, a lovely 30 degrees. And Scott says very kindly that he will repay me with a fine drink when he gets back for the compliment that I just paid him. Thank you, Scott. That's very nice of you. Anyway, I think it has been the most incredible day. And as you say, James Richard, unexpected sightings, hyenas, wild dogs, lions around the corner. That's why, of course, driving around this magnificent wonderland is always such fun. That's going to be it from us tonight. Thank you, David, for your efforts today. Well done. We're going to say thanks to Louise, back on the vocals, of course, for the first time in a while. Leanne is heading back to Johannesburg tomorrow, I think, so she'll be off the keys. And in the morning, we must greet Jandre. He's back from a prolonged sojourn. He's with Scott. Let's go back to the Lions. Thank you for your comments and questions throughout the afternoon, and I'll see you tomorrow at 05:30. Bye-bye.
Well, very kind words from Mr. Hendry. I think he may be exaggerating a little bit. He's also found some wonderful specimens. Even today is a good example of his skill in finding you lots of wonderful things to look at. But of course I thank him kindly. Things seem to have cooled off here. No more lion calls. It's just the blacksmith lapwing that you can hear. Dip, 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 dip. Calling nearby. But what a magical evening it's been. You can still see a very faint pink tinge in those clouds. And not only the animals, but the scenery, the clouds, the weather has all been absolutely fantastic on the Sunset Safari. If you have joined us for the first time, like Dorette, please let us know your thoughts and feedback and who you are and where you're watching. We'd love to hear from new viewers or from the viewers who are silent ninjas who never get a hold of us. You too could let us know. I know Nikki's Uncle Phil is one of those silent ninjas. Hello, Dominique, in Paris, and you're a brand new viewer that I was hoping to chat to, so thank you for getting a hold of us. And Dominique, you would like to know a little bit more about these lions and their possible habits of the night. Will they spend a lot of time sleeping? Will they be on the prowl? And it really does depend on the individual day and also the season, Dominique. But at the moment, tonight, I'm foreseeing that they're not going to be hugely active because they already have a full belly. It's not going to be comfortable to move around, lugging around whatever it is that they managed to feed on recently. It would have been last night that they caught something, or maybe sometime during the course of the day. We can't be certain. But we did see them coming past our camp at around 8:30, 9 o'clock last night, and they were definitely not full-bellied. Now, in general though, Dominique, your general rule for big cats and regular domestic cats, I think it's applicable to them as well, is that they will spend 16 to 20 hours sleeping every day. And in my history with these animals, it's closer to the 20-hour mark as a general rule. Oh, there was a water thickney calling there. So Dominique, to get them active and on the move requires a lot of luck and timing, and they do the majority of moving at night when it's cool and there is cover of darkness. So because we don't spend too much time out after dark, we don't get to see them moving as much as we would like to, but there are plans to start spending more time out after dark with the correct equipment so that we don't have to interfere with their ongoings. So that is in the pipeline and something to look forward to. And it's great to know that a new viewer is enjoying things all the way in Paris. The birds are going crazy. Like I said, it's the water thickneys that we can mainly hear calling. Here they go again. Those are the blacksmith lapwings. Hello Eileen, you would like to know if it's normal for lioness to split up from their pride. The fifth member of this pride is missing at the moment, and yes, it is normal. Reasons for it's hard to be certain. It's not, you'd assume that one major time that a lioness may peel away from the pride is when she is going off to mate, looking for love. So that would be a good example of when they may separate. Another very good example is 3 months after mating. Once they need to give birth, they will separate themselves from the pride, go give birth somewhere secluded, maybe join up with the pride to feed on a kill that they've made, but not take the cubs back as a general rule to the pride for a couple of weeks. So that would be another time that they would move off. Other times, it just simply cannot be explained. Even watching these 4 last nights on the quarantine clearings, 3 of them moved off and left 1 of them behind. And why that one felt that it made sense not to move initially with the pride, we simply cannot understand or be certain of. So some things in nature we will just never be able to explain, and I guess this is an example of that. They've all got their own personalities and moods, just like we as humans do. And I guess sometimes you could ask yourself, why am I acting so strangely? And even you may not know the answer to your own behavior. Well, Chandra, just to pan across quickly and show you the beautiful clouds while the lions have all got their heads down. Look at this. Absolutely fascinating scenes here, as well as sounds with all the birds calling. I hope you're all enjoying this. This is for Dominique and Dorette, the new viewers. This is not your typical sunset safari. The sunset in itself has been magical, and all the animals playing along with it is really made for a special evening and special memories that we're all sharing with one another on a live safari. Can you believe it? Hard to believe. Now, another question has just come through, interested to know about the length of a lion from tip to toe. And I would say about 8 feet from the tip of their nose to the tip of their tail would be the average length of a lioness. So yeah, in and around the 8 feet mark. I'm just imagining myself lying next to one of them, and I'm about 6 foot, and I think they would have an extra couple of feet on me once they are fully extended. In terms of their shoulder heights, probably about 3.5 to 4 feet at the shoulder. Come on, ladies, there's just a minute and some change left. Why don't you call for us, please? Hello, Virginia. You would like to know if Amber Eyes is currently with the Pride or if she is the missing lioness. And she is here. I'm not sure which one she is out of the 4 of them in this current state, but I did definitely get a glimpse of her earlier. It's not that one. That I can tell you. At the eyes we can see. So she is here. I'm not too sure which one is missing or where she is. Maybe she was the lion that was vocalizing further east of us, and who knows, maybe she has been on a adventure in search of passion with the Birmingham males. Hello, Karen. You'd like to know if these ladies are having a little snooze to ready themselves for a big night out with the Birmingham boys. They could well be. They very could well be. And we're going to only find out about that in the morning. Thank you very, very much to everyone involved. And especially a big, big welcome back to Genre, who did a fantastic job on camera, considering the only camera he's been working with is an iPhone for the last couple of weeks in Australia. So good to have you back and well done. Of course, Louise did a great job in the director's chair today with Leanne lending her hand, so thank you. And to all the viewers, especially the new ones, spread the word, keep joining in. We will be out tomorrow at 5:30 Central Africa time until 8:30, so 3-hour safari in the morning. Thank you all for joining, and one last quick view of the ladies. We have already snuck over time, but tonight has just been too good to stick to the schedule. So enjoy the last view of them, and we'll see you all on the sunrise safari.